gonna do it?
I can or you can.
Who's doing it?
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the podcast. This is Witty Banter. This is our podcast where we get on and just talk about random topics. Most of the time, it's me and Nick having a conversation about some nerdy stuff or life stuff. Today, Nick is going to kind of take over a little bit more, and I'm just going to kind of be listening to a story, and I'll chime in here and there, maybe to clarify some things. But take it away, Nick. What are we talking about?
Sure, yeah. Well, Tanner been bugging me for a long time because it's coming up Valentine's Day that he wanted me to share my proposal story, and I guess I'm going to share that now. You'll either be seeing this the following Monday, or Tanner's going to release this maybe as a little extra on Wednesday.
Maybe like a double week.
Double week. Yeah, 2 in 1 week. It's the day of love. It's about giving, so we'll give.
renderforce.com.
Okay, so Tanner wants me to share my proposal story. You want to talk it up for him like you usually do?
I never talk anything
You
up.
talk everything up.
I don't talk
Proposal,
anything
love. What does it mean? What light through yonder window breaks?
That was pretty good.
It's what you do on everything.
That was pretty
Go back
good.
and watch our videos. Every video we've ever done, you've been like, technology, the future. What's it about?
Okay, I can do this.
Go ahead. Scene.
Today, we're going to hear Nick's extravagant story of how he fell in love with the woman of his absolute dreams and the fight that he had to go through to capture this girl, not just her head, but her heart and her love, and make her the one that he will be with the rest of his life till death do we part. This is his story.
Goosebumps. Literal goosebumps. That was good. That was good. You should really do radio. You could do it, man.
This is a radio show.
All right. All right. Where should I start? From the time I met Holly, or where should we start?
I mean, if you want to go the How I Met Your Mother route all the way to the beginning, I mean, this is like, okay.
Spoiler alert! This is how I met your Aunt Robin.
Yeah. So like, I think not that far back. Maybe you could give like a quick synopsis of like how you met or whatever. But really, like when you started planning, you were gonna ask, and then what you did.
Yeah. Okay. Just a quick recap. Well, I may go on another one about like in depth, but just a quick recap. I met Holly in high school. It was freshman year. I used to be dropped off early and wait outside for like the thing to open and sit at the cafeteria. Mm-hmm. And Holly was one of the girls that she would get dropped off early too.
Right.
She would sit out there, and I thought she was absolutely beautiful. So she's the first girl I actually like really, you know what I'm saying, got up the nerve and was like, I'm gonna talk to her.
Yeah.
So I like, waddled my way over there and was like, hey, morning. Talked to her. She wasn't interested in me at first. Yeah. It was freshman year. I was young, right out of middle school.
Yeah.
So she wasn't really interested. That's fine. And so we just stayed friends. And then we just kind of stayed friends. And then senior year, it's funny because she kind of broke my heart freshman year. I mean, I'll be honest. You get shot down.
It hurts. It stings.
It hurts. So I was like, so I walked into it was economics class. Walk in my economics class, and I'm late. You know why I'm late? It's your fault. So I had history.
It's my fault?
I had history before that, and I was jacking around, bullshitting with you, and got late. So I showed up to that class on the first day, and when I walked in late, I can't remember the dude's name. I don't remember his name for the life of me. He was a friend of mine in high school. It's long, 10 years ago. He's sitting right here. Holly's sitting here, and the only seat in the entire class that's open is right behind Holly.
Nice.
So what I did is I went up and I grabbed his stuff and I moved it and set it behind Holly, and I sat in his seat. And he came back from the bathroom, and the first thing he did was he goes, "Why'd you move my stuff?" And like classes, everybody's starting to sit down, and I'm just like, "Dude, just sit there." He's like, "Dude, why'd you move my stuff?" I'm like, dude, just sit down, dude. You're making a scene. Everybody's looking. He's like, I swear to you. He looks at me and goes, dude, I want to sit next to John. Why'd you move my stuff? I was just, face is blood red. I just grabbed my notebook. I'm like, fine, dude, just sit there. So I sit behind Holly. Class starts, and at the end of class, Holly just, she turns around and goes, oh my God, Nick. And I'm like, oh my God, Holly. And I didn't want to talk to her. I didn't want to have anything to do with her. But I was forced to, because that was the one class where he's like, okay, everybody turn around to the partner behind you, and that's the one you're going to work with for the rest of the class.
Yeah.
So at the time, I was like, oh my God. And I was like, I don't want to talk to her. She broke my heart. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. But I started talking to her, and shockingly enough, 3 years, people change. So
a lot.
We start to talk, blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to remember. At first, I was like, well, I'm just going to be her friend. I'm just going to be her friend. I just, it wouldn't work out. I'm just going to be her friend. So I took her to, we went, hiking in the battlefield and stuff. Because at the time, I was trying to lose weight. And I'm like my dad. I love getting out in the woods. Yeah. So we'd go hiking, and I just talked to her, and it led from there. Next thing I know, on December 24th, 2008, I asked her, she asked me what, on Christmas Eve, she's like, you haven't told me anything you want for Christmas. What do you want? I offered her a single red rose, and it said, you.
Lord!
It's true.
Oh, wow.
And I told her, oh my
God,
right,
then.
This is embarrassing, but for the podcast, for the people, this is good entertainment. I made up some complete, absolute bullshit story. Because I was into history, and I'm like, this is just sappy and stupid. I don't even know why I made it up, but I made up some bullshit story. I'm like, this rose is representation of love. And the longer, take care of it, because the longer it lasts, the longer we'll be together.
Is it a fake rose?
Nope, it was a real rose. Oh. But it petrified.
Wow.
Swear to God, the rose I gave her, we called it Super Rose.
Yeah.
And we had it for 4.5 years.
They say if you turn them upside down, they'll do that.
She didn't. She put it in a cup with water, and it petrified in the window.
Wow.
Like an act of God. We had to throw it away because we finally looked in there and it had white mold. Yeah. And she was like, it's got to go. And we had a little funeral. I won't talk about that. But anyways, fast forwarding. So then I started dating her for a long freaking time.
Forever.
After forever. We were high school sweethearts. Fast forward to 2018. No, it was 17. And I got married in 18. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So 2017, I'm getting ready to ask her. I'm almost done with college. I've got 13 more classes. And I go to Tanner. And I'm like, man, I'm thinking about asking Holly to marry me. First thing he's like, Tanner said was bad. That's great, man. That's great. It's going to be so good. Y'all going to be in love forever. It's going to be amazing. So I was like, okay, cool. So I ran some ideas about how to do it, how to ask her. Mm-hmm. And he had all kind of good ideas.
We went through so many ideas.
Tanner had a book. And he was like, what about this? What about that? We had it from blah, blah, blah to this and that. I was going to ask Disney because we were going to go in January and this and that. And I took my Nana. Papa was starting to get sick at the time. And I took Nana to actually go. Nana went with me to get the ring.
Yep.
And they told me the price. And I told Nana, I said, Nana, if they let me have it, I'm going to apply for my first credit card ever. I was like, if they give me my first credit card, then it's a sign, and I'll go ahead with it. I got approved, but not for the amount. I was $300 short, which keep in mind, I'm not going to say how much my credit card limit is, but I had a credit card limit with them. It was completely maxed out, then $300 extra. Mm-hmm. And I said, Nana, I guess that's it. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go over here and look. And Nana paid $300.
Did she?
And got the ring. Nana didn't. I put $300 towards it. I'm not going to share the camera, but I put a lot of freaking money on the credit card. Mm-hmm. And I got the ring. And Tanner was like, okay, cool. So we talked on Christmas Eve or at Disney, and we had all these locations. And I was like, she's going to be expecting it.
Yep.
She's going to know.
Yeah.
Every girl knows. So I was like,
just randomly go to Disney, yeah.
Well, every girl knows. Well, every girl knows when you're at Disney.
Honestly, I think every single girl, if you're dating and you go to a nice place, even if you've been dating 6 months, they're like,
oh my God's
could this be it? Could this be it? This could be it. And then just from that first time you go to an actual nice place, every time you go to a nice place after that, it's going to be, is this it?
Yep.
This could be it.
So I didn't want her to know. So we have all these traditions that me and Holly have. Mm-hmm. And I kept thinking, and finally I told Tanner, I was like, I've got it. He's like, what? I said, Black Friday. He said, that's stupid. I said, no.
Yeah.
It's not stupid, because every year, me and Holly go out early in the morning, and we go shopping, and then we have, then we come back, or I would stay in the guest room, and then, so we would go out, come back, and then we would take a nap, and then we woke up, we would go back out, and, just go, go to the mall.
It's the one time of the year she wouldn't expect it.
Yeah. So it was normal. So I was like, we're going out to the mall, and I was like, hey, for lunch, let's go to the Choo Choo. I got some extra money, and we'll just go walk around. And so she was like, fine. And I knew the spot I was going to do it because back in high school, I took her to prom. And when I took her to prom, we went to the Choo Choo. And when we were at the Choo Choo, we got in the pizza car and ate. And after that, we got this old couple to take our picture in front of the fountain back there. So I knew exactly where to go.
Yeah.
So we got to the Choo Choo. I was so nervous. I had it in my pocket. I actually texted you and was like,
yeah,
I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And you were like, you got this.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. So I went up. Palms are sweating. So as soon as we walk in first,
Knees weak, arms are heavy.
Mom's spaghetti. As soon as I walk in, the first thing she says, we're getting ready to walk back there. My hands are starting to sweat. The first thing she says, I got to pee. Okay. So I sit there and waited. And I was like, okay.
Give you time to get ready.
And everybody's looking at me because I'm like, so nervous. So everybody like,
He gonna blow this place up?
Yeah, they call the cops. So then I look out. I'm so excited. So I look out, and my heart sinks because they had set up the ice rink right in the spot I was going to propose.
Yeah.
So this gigantic ice. We're in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Every year they put on an ice rink, giant. They put big coolers. It never really gets that freezing for that long here. They put it somewhere in the city. Well, they chose to put it at the one spot on the one day.
Spot.
So I'm tore up, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm still going to commit, see it through. So she comes out of the bathroom, and we start walking around, and she's like, okay, cool, and we're looking at the little carts and stuff, and then I walk her back, and I guess she was kind of like, why is this important? I was like, see where the ice rink is? She's like, yeah. I was like, right there is where we got our prom pictures taken. She's like, oh my God. So she starts taking pictures. Yep. And then I tell her to take pictures of the fountain stuff because I really like the fountain. I was just talking off in my head. I was like, oh my God, here it is. Like, oh my God, this is it. So she's facing towards the fountain, and I put my arms around her from the back. And I ask her, I say, do you love me? And she's like, yeah, of course. I was like, will you love me forever? And she was like, sure, yeah, of course. And then I got down on one knee and turned around, and I said, then marry me.
So sweet.
And the first thing she said was, what?
What?
And I said, marry me. And she goes, okay. And I was like, yes. She's like, yeah. And then I put the ring in her finger, and she was like, are you asking? I was like, yes, I'm asking. She's like,
yes, Holly.
She's like, oh my God. And then she gave me a hug, and then I was like,
shock.
And I was like, and I looked around, and nobody was paying any attention to us. Nobody saw. The security camera was facing the other way at the time. It was just a blip on the radar, which she actually said she did not want me to propose in public and have a big scene.
Oh, good.
So after we got proposed, we were walking back smiling, and everybody's like, what were they doing back there? But they were drugs or something. A bunch of old people sitting around on the ice. So we came out, and then we asked the first person we saw, we're like, I just proposed. Can you take a picture? And that woman was like, oh, yeah, of course, yeah. And then took a picture of us, and when we edit, I can actually give you the picture that we took right after put in there. And that was on Black Friday. And then in May, this guy was best man, and I walked down the aisle. And that is my proposal story. Kids, and that's how I met your mother.
Nice. That's awesome.
There you go.
See, I love going back and listening to old stories like that and stuff.
They're good.
It's great to reminisce.
They're good.
It is. But that's Nick's story. I don't want to take anything away from him, so I'm going to cut it off short.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you would like for us to check out your proposal story, put it down below. You can do a video comment or a comment down below, and we would love to react or talk to you about your proposal story.
Yeah, definitely. If you're on the Anchor app, go ahead and give a little applaud and go ahead and leave a little. If you leave your proposal story, if you have an interesting one, you can leave it down there as a little voice
Read it
message, and we'll not only listen to it, we'll do a whole podcast.
Play it on the air.
You leave it on Anchor, and we'll post on Anchor.
But thanks for coming along, guys. This one was probably very different than any other podcast we've ever done, but I actually really enjoyed it. So
Yeah.
gave me a chance to shut up for a minute.
Y'all take note. It ain't gonna happen again.
Right, yeah. But thanks for coming along, guys. And think about subscribing and sticking around and liking this and sharing it on the social medias for other people to see. Thanks for coming along, guys.
Thank y'all.